You're listening to Metal and High Heels, the official podcast from the magazine about metal, lifestyle, and entertainment.
Hey everybody, welcome to a new Minisode of the Metal and High Heels podcast. My name is Kiki and I'm here with...
Pia, hello.
Steffi, hi.
Hi, and on our Minisodes, which we do every couple of months, we usually just talk about the latest releases that we have been listening to and about the news in the metal scene. Do we have any news? Oh, I have a piece of news. But anyway, how are you two?
I'm great. I also have news.
All right, Pia, what are your news?
I want to recommend a charity thing that Gojira just started today. They released a video for their song Amazonia. And in the video, we can watch it later, you see the destroyed Amazon. And they started a charity auction and also a lottery where you can give them money and you can win a guitar that is crafted by the singer and guitar player Joseph Duplantier. And you can also win another one. There is an auction for one and you can win another one in the lottery. And the money goes to a project that supports the native Brazilian people who live in the Amazonia. And now I have noises in the background because my husband will leave the room in a second.
That sounds really cool.
But yes, that's my news. Check that out. And if you have the possibility, support them. I think you can also just donate or you can buy something for the lottery and take part there. And support them and watch the video. It's really good.
Yes, and the video and the song is called Amazonia, right?
Yes.
But you have to tell the whole story. You just had an interview with Gojira, didn't you?
Yes, I had an interview with Joseph Duplantier today. That's true. For Pommesgabel. What do you want to know?
When it's out and we can listen to it.
I think it will be out by the end of April because they will release their album Fortitude, which we were talking about, on April 30th. And that was the main topic that we talked about. But since Joe is a very philosophical person, we talked about a lot of things. And it was a really interesting conversation.
And it's in English, right? Because
yes.
Pommesgabel usually is in German.
Yes, but when we do interviews with non-German people, then, or from Austria or something like that, then we do them in English also.
Yes. Everybody, if you speak German and also if you don't, go check out Pommesgabel on your favorite podcast app as well. Pia's other podcast. We're not jealous. We can share Pia. It's fine. Yes. We will talk about this later as well. But before I interviewed Simon Simmons to talk about Epica's new album, Omega, I listened to, in preparation for the podcast, I listened to Pommesgabel, their interview with her. And that one was in German, actually, because Simone speaks German, even though she's Dutch. So it's actually pretty entertaining and really cool. Yes. And in other news, I don't know if you paid attention to the Grammys, but the Grammys just took place a few weeks ago. I don't usually really watch the show or anything, but I do pay attention to, if any, what's the metal performance of the year and whatever. Metal performance of the year was awarded to Body Count. And but the piece of news that I wanted to point out is I get the newsletter from the Representation Project, and they it's a feminist project, and they've done several documentaries, and those are very recommendable as well. I have talked about them a lot, I'm sure, maybe on the stream as well. And their newsletter had very interesting numbers. And those are that women represented only 20.2% of the performing artists of 2020's top songs, which is down from 22.5% in 2019. Moreover, only 2% of the top 100 songs were produced by women, and only 9 of these producers were women of color. So things are getting better in those respects sometimes, but 20% is still just too little. We need to get more. We need to listen to more women and to more songs and albums that are produced by women as well. So that is my news. Any other pieces of news we want to discuss?
I can't think of another thing that popped up in my environment recently.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't follow up any news feeds or something.
Then let's get right to the releases. And I just want to mention that Phantom Elite released a new album called Titanium on January 22nd. And I only listened to a single of those. And my first impression was that Marina is sounding really different to what I used to. I didn't recognize her voice. I honestly thought they'd split up or something. But it's still Marina La Torraca in Phantom Elite, the Dutch band that we interviewed in female metal event in 2017. So if you want to watch that interview, go to our YouTube channel. And otherwise, tell me what you think about their new album, because I haven't listened to it yet. And then going further in January, there was Annisokay. Steffi, tell us about Annisokay's Aurora.
Where to start? First, let me open up the playlist.
Yes,
because I just need to.
I have it in my mind. I can tell you right from my memories.
Freak.
That's a fan. What do you mean, freak?
Yes, I know. Still freak. At first, it's first album they recorded and released with a new singer, or better call him just shouter, because the clear vocals were sung by also guitarist and I think founder of the band, Christopher or something like that.
Christoph.
That's his name. Christoph. Right. And the shouter is new in this album. And
his name is Rudi.
Rudi, yeah. Beautiful name.
So this is a German band, right? Where are they from?
Exactly. From Halle. It's in Eastern German.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
A little small town. In German, you would call it Kaff.
Well, it's not that small. I've been there several times and did some, How do you say that in English? Reportage for one of our magazines. a report about how they clean their streets and stuff like that. That's what I do for a living. Yes, and because of that, I was in Halle several times, and I know that the city is not that small.
I've been in Halle as well. A friend of mine used to study there. It's a small city. It's not a tiny town.
Yeah, okay.
But it's not a cuff.
Sorry. Sorry. Okay, sorry, Halle.
So people, we can recommend traveling there. It's also close to Leipzig, so you can visit both cities within a few hours.
I wanted to talk about the album before, Arms, because that's the album where I just get into the band, because that album blew my mind. And I have to say, I listened to this album much more than to the new one, Aurora. So I can tell you a little bit more about this one, but well, let's talk about Aurora. Right, the album artwork is just amazing. It's beautiful. It's an astronaut in front of the, well, is it moon or sun? I'm not sure. And cloudy, stellar building, whatever is in front of it. I don't know. It's not Aurora Borealis. That's not. The basics. It's very melodic metalcore. Some people call it also pop metalcore, popcore. So not even metal, it's popcore for some people. And it's definitely very melodic. Has lots of catchy songs or just refrains, chorus. You want to sing along with it. I would say it's still heavy. I still would like to call it metalcore, no popcore. And I listen a lot to Bonfire of the Millennials. Also because of the lyrics, because it's about climate justice, and that's also a very important topic for me. And they wrote a song about it, so that got me. But also like the tragedy, I think in the musical way, I like the tragedy most because it has a very interesting intro, and it took me a few times to get into it, but now I'm a huge fan of that one. Like a Parasite is also very catchy, and just if it's in your ear, you won't get it out so fast. But yeah, go ahead, Pia. What's your favorite song? What do you think about the whole album? Do you prefer it, or what do you like more, Arms or Aurora?
That's a bit difficult. So, no, the easy answer is I prefer Aurora before Arms, but it's a bit complicated for me because I got to know the band by the end of December 2020, and there have been a lot of singles released from Aurora. So when I listened to the whole album, I focused on the tracks that haven't been released, which were, I think, 7 tracks at that time when I listened to it. And so I had this comparison of the whole Arms album with only these 7 tracks that haven't been released before. And so I always have to remind myself that Like a Parasite is also on Aurora. Face the Facts is on Aurora. Shut the Fuck Up is on Aurora. So if you take all these songs and compare that with Arms, so the whole Aurora album with Arms, then Aurora is better. How about you?
All right.
I think I prefer Arms somehow. I can't tell you why. Just, prefer that album.
Okay. It always differs. So when I listened to the whole Aurora album for the first time, I was like, okay, right now the song that catches me the most is Under Your Tattoos. My first thought when I read this title was, what is that title? How can you name a song Under Your Tattoos? That's weird.
It is.
But then I listened to the song, and it's really strong because the chorus is really strong. So the song starts pretty hard with screams. And then it goes to the chorus, which has a lot of bombast, a lot of power, drama, rhythm changes in the whole song. And yeah, it's on the one hand very melodic, but on the other hand, it has also strong drums, strong rhythms. And also the lyrics are really cool, which you wouldn't expect from a title like this. So that was the song that stuck in my mind the first time. But I also knew when I listened to it, okay, Friend or Enemy is a really cool song, and I will definitely get back to that later. Or also The Blame Game, or I Saw What You Did. So I knew that every single track on this album will catch me sooner or later, and that it will catch me sooner or later again, later this year. Later again this year, not sooner. And that's why there are chances that Aurora will be my album of the year, which would be really cool because it came out so early and I knew half of the songs before. But as Steffi said, there is no song on the album that is weak, that I don't like. Every song on its own works. And they also differ a lot from each other. So it's not like on some albums when you think, okay, where does one track begin? When does the other one end? No, the songs are very different from each other. And yeah, all of them are really cool. And maybe I told before on this podcast, I'm not sure. I'm a person who focuses on different instruments on different times. And when I listened to Aurora the first time, I focus a lot on melodies in general. So not necessarily in the guitars or in the vocals, but in general melodies. And now I'm in a phase where I focus a lot on guitars. And I enjoy listening again to Aurora, focusing on the lead guitar. And I also like that. So next point there are chances that it's going to be my album of the year 2021.
Wow.
And of course, the amazing album cover. There are not many album covers that I can think about that look better than this in general. So if I would have to compare the artwork with the artwork from Cold Like War, from We Came as Romans, I couldn't tell which I like better. But there are not many other albums popping up in my mind that have a more beautiful cover artwork. So it's at least in my top 5 of all time.
That is a big statement. I'm glad you liked Annisokay so much because you were really looking forward to that one.
Yes.
And Pia, you can now you can keep talking because the album that came out after, the album in our list that came out after that was on February 2nd, To Kill Achilles.
No,
Something to Remember.
That's not true because Steffi wanted to talk about Imperial by SOEN.
Oh, wait,
that came out the same day like Aurora by Annisokay.
That's true.
Oh, there you go.
I listened to it the last days a few times. The last days, I didn't realize the release date at all at the day. But yeah, I'm very not surprised, sounds stupid, but SOEN is a band I didn't listen before. I know they exist, but that's all. And I started listening to that album because of a few very strong songs of it, and I'm impressed. It's very good. I like it. It's the vocals are very dominant, much into focus, and has that not doomy. Doomy is a little bit too much, and it's also not metal but rock music more. But that dark one and very expressive. Dark expressive rock, I want to call it. And just a recommendation, and just to mention it here, that I enjoyed that one also, The Last Days, a lot.
And there is a really cool music video for their song Annihilator.
Okay, so you know more than me.
I'd need to look that up. But that's with a news speaker who turns into the devil later. We can put that into the show notes because it's a really, really good music video.
Okay, and let's watch it later together here. Yes. And back to Annisokay, or not to Annisokay, but to Dreamshade, because that's another album. I know it's a little bit into the future. We're not chronological anymore, but I think in that musical way it fits pretty good together. And I want to ask you, Pia, what do you prefer, Annisokay or Dreamshade? In my ears, they are kind of same subgenre style.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, so I would like to compare them. They're both very good on their own, definitely.
Yes, that's true. I definitely prefer Aurora.
But comparing is possible.
So you prefer a pale blue dot?
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to what you're going to say about that album later. And then maybe we can discuss a bit.
Yeah, so the album that Steffi just recommended before was SOEN. Imperial came out on January 29th, and SOEN is spelled SOEN. Yeah, I was kind of confused in my ears. But anyway, now we can go to KILL ACHILLES, to the band To Kill Achilles, and their album Something to Remember Me By, that came out on February 5th.
Yes. The band or the album has a very sad story because it's the story about a man who went through a lot of bad things starting on his 25th birthday, and he commits suicide on his 26th birthday because of all these things. And every song is the story about a month, and there are 2 flashbacks. And the things that happen to this guy are things that happened to the band members in real life. So not to only one person, but to all, I think there are 5 of them. And they had to deal with all this stuff that they are now singing about on this album. And that's a very sad topic, but the band wants to motivate people to speak about their feelings and to also speak or talk to other people when they feel bad. So what this man does in the story, he just doesn't really reach out for any help, and that destroys him basically. The music is a little bit behind the vocals and also the lyrics, because the lyrics are very explicitly, so they don't have metaphors or something like that. And that's why you really listen to them and don't pay that much attention to the instruments. But when you listen to the album again and again, then the instruments come a bit later or pop up a bit later, which is also cool because you discover something new when you listen to that from time to time. It's also post-hardcore or metalcore. And I recommend watching the video for the song Oh God, I've Never Felt This Low, because it's a cool song and the video is really, really good. We can also watch that later.
That is such a prevalent topic right now, for me at least. I mean, mental health has always been a topic that is important to us. We are about to hit our 100th episode and our anniversary as a magazine and as a podcast, and that's later this year. But our very first podcast episode was about mental health, with Cassandra Novell from Mercy Isle, who also did our jingle, and with her we talked about mental health. We should redo it. We should do that an update episode about mental health. Right now, we are, for the people who are listening to the podcast, we are right now live on my Twitch. And last week on Friday, I was invited to a talk show or podcast format on Twitch where we talked about mental health as well, and about the importance of therapy and of reaching out, and about dealing with depression and suicidal thoughts and all of that. So it's just so wow. And on Monday, I streamed a game that ended up also with a storyline about suicide, and the game ended with the credits and a warning with, a help hotline and everything. So it's like, is it mental health week here for me at least? Damn. It's very important.
Let's conclude that with another song by Annisokay that is from the album Arms, and the song is called Sea of Trees, and that has a very beautiful and true chorus where they say, "There's no you and I in suicide, cause your pain won't die with you, you're just passing it on."
Ouch. That's wow. That's hard. That hits hard, and it's very true.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, and now maybe is a good time to take a very quick thought break and tell the people that we are kind of restructuring the podcast and thinking about a lot of changes for the podcast, for our platform. And so we were thinking about playing music in the podcast when we talk about songs like this in the minisodes, or when we talk a lot about specific songs, that we could maybe play them at the end of the podcast. If that's something you'd be interested in, please let us know. Reach out to us on social media and or on a survey that we're going to link in the show notes, and send it out in the world so that people can contact us and let us know your thoughts of how we can make all this change that we are planning for the podcast for the better, and so that it will become something you will enjoy even more. And with that, I think we should go back to February. And on February 12th, The Pretty Reckless released Death by Rock and Roll. And that's also another album that I have not really listened to, but it's, a woman in metal, Taylor Momsen, and I want to give her a mention. And anything else in February, mid-February? No. Then we go to February 26th, where the releases from the Netherlands came out. And one was Anneke with The Darkest Skies Are the Brightest. And even though this is not a metal album, Anneke is one of the queens of metal. She's been one since the 90s. So we want to give her solo work a shout out as well. And Steffi, you listened to that album with a little bit more attention.
Yeah, I did. First to say it's not metal. No. It's, I would call it, typical singer-songwriting music. Sounds maybe a little bit, how to say it? Like, not appreciating. But yeah, it's more like I think it just is a singer-songwriter album, because she took her guitar, spent a few weeks or so in a little hut in the woods, I read somewhere, and just wrote that music on her own, and then went back to studio and got some more musicians together, much more instruments. It's not that just voice and guitar music. It's not. There are just, I can't tell you, many more instruments in there, and it's very diverse. Mm-hmm. But yeah, still down to earth, acoustic stuff, just for a chilled evening with your red wine on the couch. It's pretty amazing listening to it. Very relaxing. And definitely some very catchy songs, like I saw a car. Such a bad title. That's the same what you, Sophia, under your tattoos. I just read, I saw a car. What the fuck? Are you kidding me, Anneke? What do you want from me? But it's a very good song, and just read the lyrics or listen carefully to them, because I was very amazed of them. It's like a like a poem style somehow. Yes, and also in the music way, very good. Or like the singles which were already released, My Promise or Hurricane. Very good, strong songs I enjoy listening to.
Yes, Hurricane was also one that I really enjoyed. I really, really liked Hurricane. We watched that as well in our Heavy Friday metal chats here on Twitch, and I really dig that song. It's just so I don't know. It has so much energy. It gives me so much energy and so much power. That's what I love about music, when it really hypes me up and makes me want to move and gives me this energy and life. I don't know.
And that's also something typical for Anneke, I would say, because she's just a person full of so much positive energy, and she can put that energy into music, and you can just feel it. It always sounds for me like I always imagine that she's mostly smiling while singing and recording in the studio, just like that.
Yes.
And always has her smile on the face.
And the lyrics for that song are also very beautiful. I don't remember very, very well right now what it's about, but I remember feeling very moved by those words, by the lyrics. And the video was also really cool. And you can see exactly what you were saying, Steffi. Like, you see her dancing and you want to dance along. It's just, Anneke has such a beautiful personality. It's really great. And the other record that came out on February 26th was Epica's Omega. And well, you heard Steffi and I talk about that album in detail, but I just want to summarize that in saying that it's not my favorite Epica album. Epica is my favorite band, but I actually expected a bit more from them by now. But yeah, that's life, I guess.
And I can add to that point that very just interesting notice from myself. I just listened to Spotify stuff, automatically generated playlist, and then there was an Epica song, and of course I noticed that's Epica, but then I was just confused. Well, which album is that? I need to look it up, and that was for me such a moment, what I always thought about recording with you the last podcast talking about that album, that I just can't
distinguish
different. Yeah, it's just like the last 3 albums are almost, for me, the same.
The Holographic Principle for me is their best work yet, and but I can see what you're saying, and I agree. Otherwise, before Omega, I was always able to well, maybe the first 2 albums I would have been confused which song belongs where, but after that, they went through so many changes that I always knew which album was from which release. But Omega really is just more of the same.
Omega is like a mixing up. It's call it best of in a good way, but it's just like could have been everywhere on the whole timeline of Epica.
Nah, not even. But okay. Let's not. I forgot another release from February 12th. Sirenia, talking about symphonic metal. Sirenia released Riddles, Ruins, and Revelations, and we listened to one of the singles. I think here on the stream, or I listened to one of the singles at some point, and it didn't really.
We watched the Voyage Voyage cover.
There was the Voyage Voyage cover, and then there was another single that really didn't stick to my mind. So, in Pia's words, it didn't resonate with me. It came in and went out, and bye bye. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. If the rest of the album is better, let me know. I shall give it some more attention. But also on February 26th, their latest Architects came out. And I really took my time and listened to that, because Architects for me has been a band that's been hyped a lot, and I had never really taken the time to listen to them. So I cannot compare the new album to any of their previous work. But I really liked it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 songs that I marked as my favorites that are now in my favorite songs playlist, and that is 2 songs more than the Epica album. I really liked Animals. Animals had been released already as a single. I really liked Demigod. I really liked Dead Butterflies and Discourse is Dead. And Dead Butterflies reminded me of the Bring Me the Horizon song with Amy Lee, which moved me to tears. I've talked about that here, I think. That was released longer ago, but the title is just a little bit similar. Anyway, I listened to the Architects album with a lot of attention, while reading the lyrics and everything, and I really, really liked it. So those are 5 songs that you can definitely go and listen to. And now I get the hype.
I remember that I listened to it once on the day when it was released. To be honest, I'm always a bit skeptical when it comes to Architects, because Steffi and I saw them at Metal Days in Slovenia, and both of us, we really didn't enjoy their live show. It was, really? Yeah, I don't know. Every time I think about Architects, I have to think about this live show, and that, I don't go in there without any without prejudices. Prejudices.
Yes, prejudice, of course.
Without prejudices. But having that in mind, I can say that I wouldn't say that I really liked it, because what I didn't like about the album was the violin, and but it also wasn't like I wasn't enjoying it. So I don't know if I would put that on myself that often, but if it plays somewhere, then I will still enjoy it. And I think I will give it another listen somewhen later, because that's the second chance that I give to Architects. They deserve this second chance, and I think that I will like the album when I listen to it a bit more.
Yes. Now that you mentioned the strings was one of the most beautiful elements I found in that album. I really love the strings in the album. But I mean, I'm a sucker for classical instruments, so that is my bias.
I'm over that point. I listen to stuff like that too much, I think.
And I haven't seen Architects live yet, but I have seen recordings. I have seen recordings and videos of their live performances, and that's one of the things that I find the most impressive. How much energy they seem to have live. But live, to see them live is not the same as seeing live recordings. So maybe you have a point there.
Yeah, but you can also have a bad day or whatever. So we saw them once, and that live show was meh. But maybe another live show can be better. So I would also give them a second chance when I have the option to see them on another festival.
Right.
And I have another news. We Came as Romans announced that they will do a live stream to celebrate the 10th birthday of the debut album, To Plant a Seed. And that live stream is in the night of April 23rd to April 24th at 2:00 in the night, Central European time. But you can buy a ticket, and then you have, I don't know, 5 days or something to watch the stream later on.
Yes.
And I'm really looking forward to that one, because I really liked the To Plant a Seed album. And there are a lot of cool songs, and I also hope that they finally will put this album on Apple Music because it's not there.
Ooh. That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And by then we have arrived in March, and we have Dreamshade, A Pale Blue Dot, which you were already discussing before.
Yes. Woo. That's good. It turned out somehow to one of my favorite albums. So first of all, of course, the album title is, of course, amazing for a geoscientist.
Melodies are not so important.
And yeah, I listened also. I think I listened to your podcast episode before, Pia, before listening to the album completely. And I also had a little bias or prejudice because Fella told that they making music always because of
I'm
melodies.
one of the main guys of the
And
band.
as you may know, I'm a big fan
Okay.
of melodies, or
What?
music needs definitely for me melodies. And yeah, so I started listening to the whole album. My first of the band, I listened completely. I don't know the former stuff. And yeah, I was very very happy with the stuff they are making because it's a almost perfect mixed up of different kinds of music. So they're also using, it's also, you can also call it typical new or modern metal music, maybe metalcore, with just like rap passages, electronic influences, but also typical metal guitar riffs, growls, shouting, clear vocals, you can sing along, all in all, and also very diverse kinds of instrumental basses, if you know what I mean. So like one song has like an oriental feeling, the other one is more is focused on rhythm and so on. And so every song, or it's what you said about Aurora, you don't think you're listening to one big stuff, so every song can stand for itself. For me, that's also on the Dreamshade album. And strong lyrics, very strong lyrics. The ones I didn't read, I always need to read lyrics, I can't understand them completely. And the ones I read, they're, very impressive to me. And so all in all, I'm very happy with that result. And Dreamshade got a new fan with that album.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Once again, beautiful cover artwork. And quite similar to Annisokay. And I don't know why, but Dreamshade and Annisokay are for me just like brothers.
Okay.
Maybe also because of the artwork, both shows astronauts and have that want to text about social problems or society problems, that's better said, also like environmental stuff, and there's a very strong about a refugee on Dreamshade and a Pale Blue Dot. And I read the lyrics today and just got goosebumps because it was so touching. The song is called A Place Called Home. And holy shit, read that, please. Read the lyrics. Give your tears in the eye. Yes.
There is a very funny story that Fella also told me in that interview, because Dreamshade thought about a title for their album, and in the very beginning they had a lot of ideas, and one of their ideas also was Aurora. So there would be 2 albums coming out within, I don't know, 6 weeks with an astronaut on the cover, and both are called Aurora.
Wow.
But they decided to name it a Pale Blue Dot.
How? Damn, that's really lucky. Are they under the same label or something? Did somebody advise them to change it?
No.
Wow.
They also didn't know about the astronaut, because when you create this artwork, then you don't talk about your idea. So you just, when it's done, you maybe publish it and say, so this is the cover artwork. And that's also why on the Architects album, there is also an astronaut. And I believe the bands, when they say that they didn't talk to each other, they didn't know that the others also put an astronaut on the cover, because as I said, they planned it long before they announced it. And so there are a lot of albums with astronauts on the cover nowadays.
I think that's some kind of, maybe I'm going to get a little bit spiritual here, some kind of wave of consciousness. Maybe if we're dealing with the same stuff in our daily lives, we might also be thinking or philosophizing about the same stuff, or get this, similar inspirations, as humankind in general. I don't know. Or maybe it's some kind, that's what we afterwards analyze as trends, maybe, but this has for sure happened in the past.
Shall I also talk about a Pale Blue Dot?
Yes, go for it.
I follow Dreamshade more or less right from the beginning. So I also listened to their debut album, What Silence Hides. And so I can say that A Pale Blue Dot is a big step forward. So I would also say it's the best album that they released so far. And since I know where they come from, I would say that they are directly in the middle of metalcore and melodic death metal, because the debut and also the album they released after that were melodic death metal, and then they slowly developed more and more to a metalcore band. And I don't think that you can put them in one genre or the other. They have elements of both of that. And a very interesting thing in Dreamshade also is how they use the keyboards, because sometimes the keyboard is used as a kind of third guitar. Sometimes it's there for the atmosphere. And so they make something unique out of this keyboard sound, even though I think they don't have a keyboard anymore. In the beginning, they had one. But that's something that they did also right from the beginning. And the spirit of the album, when you only listen to the music and you don't pay attention to the lyrics, it's very, very positive, or to me it seems very, very positive, even though they deal with strong topics. For example, also in the song Elephant, where they sing about this Japanese phenomenon that you fear the attention of others, and that's why you go out of your room less and less, and in the end you stay in your room and nobody can get you out of there.
Agoraphobia.
That also has a name.
Is it?
And but there also is a Japanese name for that. So that's a very strong anxiety that some people have, and it's very difficult to get them out, because obviously you can't take them to therapy when they don't leave their room, when they lock themselves in. And that's the story behind the song Elephant. But as I said, when you listen to the song, it has positive vibes, positive melodies, and that's a very interesting combination. That's all I had to I wanted to add to.
I have to check it out. And after that, on March 19th, Landmarks, Lost in the Waves.
I don't remember which album it was, but one of you said there is an album with a lot of different influences. I can tell you, Lost in the Waves by LANDMVRKS has the most influences
What?
put together on an album that has only 30 minutes.
30 minutes? How long are
that
the
I
songs?
ever heard. Yes, there is 30 minutes. The songs, they are about 3 minutes. They have a mid-tro, I think, and another song that is a bit shorter. Starting with the singer Florent Salvati, he can do everything. So he can do screams, growls, high clean vocals, low clean vocals, also the punk rock type of singing, and also rap. He has a side project where he only raps. But also music-wise, there are so many influences. You can hear rock, you can hear pop, death metal, even black metal. And when you take a song like Always, it's almost a pop song. But there are also guitar riffs on that album that could also be on a Gojira album. So that's also what makes listening to this album a bit confusing, because as I said, it only has 30 minutes and it has all these elements. So you really have to pay attention. And I think it's even cooler to listen to that album when you're a musician yourself or when you play an instrument, because then you can appreciate all these influences and what LANDMVRKS do on this album even more. But yeah, I definitely recommend listening to this album because it's something that you don't hear that often with all these mixes. And the song that I really, really like on the album is Overrated, especially when you come to the end of the song. The last, 20 seconds could be on a melodic black metal album as well. So on a very good produced black metal album. For a moment you think, okay, I'm on a completely different album now. And yeah, that that happens a lot when you listen to Lost in the Waves by LANDMVRKS.
Sounds good. Yeah, the only negative point I see to all of this is the V instead of the A. LANDMVRKS. Okay, but yeah. That's my pet peeve with band names. Yes, and then we have arrived on today's release that we are so super hyped about because we just released a podcast episode talking to Charlie Rolfe from As Everything Unfolds. And it was an amazing episode. Also, footnote, that episode was edited by Pia, and I noticed a very cool energy. I felt like I was on drugs. I listened to the episode when I was publishing it, and I was like, did I take drugs before that, or did Pia like speed up my voice or something?
No, I didn't.
We had, I guess, we just had such a cool flow and energy. It was just like very, very. It was a very nice conversation that we had. Very hyped, very full of energy. Very fast paced.
I often cut out gaps.
Yes,
so maybe I did that.
But yeah, the album just came out today. It's called Within Each Lies the Other. Today is March 26th, and you will hear this in a week and a half. And until then, I hope you have listened to this album a lot and can form your own opinion. I have only listened to the singles just yet because I wanted to sit down and listen to that album with my full attention as well. But Pia has all of the details about it.
Yes. As Everything Unfolds were my newcomer of the year 2020, and that's why I was really looking forward to Within Each Lies the Other. And yeah, I wasn't disappointed because it's very, very strong. And when you listen to it, you don't necessarily think that it's a debut album because the band already found its sound, and the album sounds like it was. Yeah, debut albums sometimes sound a bit random to me because often bands don't really know what kind of what the album should sound like in total. I hope that makes any sense. That's not the case on this album. It's very atmospheric, strong melodies, but also aggressive riffs. And yeah, the outstanding part of their music is, of course, Charlie Rowe's vocals, because she also can do everything. She has this very, very strong screams. But she also has a very soft singing voice and also a very low singing voice. She uses both on this album. And there are also some parts where she whispers. So she does what people can do with their voice. And I always think that it's really cool when you don't stuck to your singing voice or something, but when you play around a little bit with your vocals, when you also use it as an instrument and not only to transport the lyrics. Yeah, I also said in the interview that for me, On the Inside is the song that fits less on the album, because you can dance to the song. It's very positive, and the rest of the album is more melancholic and aggressive and deals with sad personal topics, also toxic relationships or having doubts about yourself and stuff like that. And On the Inside is a bit different, but I have the theory that On the Inside brings you into the head of the person. So what you experience on this opener is what you see when you look at a person. So you don't know what happens inside, you only see the outside. And that's what my theory is about this song. As I said, the album is really strong and really emotional because of the topics, but also because of the instruments. And there are kind of ballads like Grayscale or One Last Time. But on the other hand, there is a very poppy Hiding From Myself that has already been released. And of course, Wallow. And Wallow is one of the best songs that I've heard since a very long time now. There are also other songs that were really cool. But if I would have to name my song of the year so far, it would definitely be Wallow, because it was so surprising for me, also with this really aggressive beginning. And then we come to this very soft part after 2 minutes 30. So this song has all of it and a lot of emotions and a very strong topic. And what I also think is amazing about the album is that it really kicks you out, because Wither, the last song, ends so abruptly that for a moment you ask yourself, whoa, what happened? Why is the music out now? And in the interview, Charlie said, our intention was that when you quit the album like this, then the listener wants to listen to it again right away. And yes, it works. When you finish listening to the album, you definitely want to listen to it again.
But note to the musicians out there, try to use that trick maybe.
Don't fade out, make it like, whoa.
We're out, mic drop, listen to it again if you want.
Yes. Do you want to add something, or I have another shout out, another recommendation?
Go.
Okay. Today, Burn Down Eden released their self-titled album, and Burn Down Eden is a technical but also melodic death metal band from Germany. And the album, I like it a lot because it has, it's maybe in the middle of Children of Bodom and Gojira somewhere, because it has this perfect balance of technical guitars, but also the melodies, and the rest of it is also typical death metal. So if you like stuff like this, I recommend listening to them.
Hell yeah. And with that, we've come to the end of this show. It's supposed to be a minisode, so yes, that's it. Bye. Yes, let's do the let's do the everything on phones. Okay, bye. Start the episode over if you want.
1 hour sober. Yeah, maybe someone we shall change the name because our minisodes are not mini at all. 1 hour
That
is
is
not
true.
short.
That is true.
Review-sode,
That is an
or
idea
I don't know.
that we shall think about. And because yes, as I just mentioned before, we are going through some changes, and and change is good, right? So we want to make this better and keep enjoying what we do, and keep you, everybody out there who is listening, keep enjoying what we do. So reach out to us, and please fill out the survey that we are going to link everywhere. And yes, yeah.
What are you looking forward to in the next month? To which releases?
I was going to ask about that. I don't have any schedules that I know of, but I'm definitely looking forward to Gojira, to the new album. Isn't that coming in April already?
Yes, April 30th.
Ah, it fits even, huh? Steffi?
Dear Mother and Silver Lake.
Nice. I'm looking forward to also the Gojira album Fortitude, and Ghost Iris will release Comatose, and One Morning Left will release their album Hyperactive. No, it's not a joke. One album is called Comatose, the other one is called Hyperactive. I don't know what was the coincidence there. One band is from Denmark, the other one from Finland. So maybe there is a connection somehow. And yes, the astronaut aurora phenomenon continues. And We Came as Romans will also release a new album. Eskimo Cowboy will release a new album, but I think there are no dates yet for them, so I don't expect them to be out within the next 3 months. But that's also something that I'm looking forward to this year.
Perfect. Steffi, where can people find us?
Everywhere. My answers always. You can find our podcast at, for example, Spotify or iTunes or Deezer or
Stitcher.
Podimo,
our homepage.
YouTube.
And Stitcher. And our homepage, including our show notes, metalandhighheels.com. And we also have social media. Hopefully we will use it more often. That's the plan.
In the future.
And yes, let's see. There you can also find us on Insta and Facebook and Twitter. And just get in contact with us if you would like to. We would be very happy if you do. So just write us a message if you have anything to say, or just greet us. Whatever, have feedback. You can write us. Yeah.
And we will see you soon. We have. Should we do a short teaser? What do we have coming up? We have 2 very cool episodes coming up. One with a very special guest we haven't had in 2 or 3 years almost. Marcela Bobbio will come here and tell us about the new EP, the first EP of her new band, Dark Horse, White Horse. That's the next episode that will be coming out. And after that, we will be talking to some women in metal music labels and see what stories they have to tell. So stay tuned. Follow the podcast on Spotify or subscribe on Apple Podcasts or the other platforms. And we'll see you there. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.